So, welcome to my podcast, which is Dynamic Educators. I am Hannah Krista Caparas, your host for today, and we have here our guest.
I am John Mitchell Lee Selma.
I am Zaira Mitch Entienza. I am Jessica Inansalaw. I am John Karen de la Victoria.
And now, let us tackle about Singaporean literature, the teacher, and the Taximan story by Catherine Lim. So let us start with the Singaporean literature. So do you have any ideas about the Singaporean literature?
So, I have the idea the Singaporean literature is the reflection of the diversity which is written in Tamil, Chinese, and Mandarin.
So they also have a strict rules there in Singapore. They won't allow you to spit anywhere, and they also ban bubble gums in Singapore.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, Mr. John Kevin de la Victoria, do you have some ideas about the Singaporean literature?
Oh, Singaporean literature is they're not bounty into their natural resources, not like in the Philippines. Like they have what they call the merlion. What's merlion?
Merlion is a statue that has body of fish and a head of a lion.
Okay, so since we already tackled about the Singaporean literature, so do you see some differences or similarities about the Philippines and Singaporeans rules or disciplines?
Yes, I see some differences about the Singaporean and the Philippines. So the common difference of the two countries is that the about the rules. The Singaporean rules is we are strict, and the Philippines are strict, but the problem is the people. They are ignoring about the signs, and not like the Singaporean people, because they follow all the rules there because they have a strict rules.
Singapore is the multicultural country which talks about Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. So mostly English is the most spoken language in their country.
Okay, enough about Singaporean literature. So I know that you have the ideas and learnings about the Singaporean literature. And now let us proceed to the story of Catherine Lim, which is the teacher. So do you have some ideas or reflections about this story?
So do you have any idea, guys?
So the teacher was all about the student. Was a name
Tangyuksang?
Tangyuksang?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Tangyuksang, yeah.
Right. So the teacher was concerned about the grammar. So he
Oh, so the teacher, I guess, she doesn't see the important message in the students' work. So she was more focused on the grammar. So the student might believe that the teacher just ignoring her message. That's why I guess.
Do you have any idea?
Furthermore, also the teacher didn't notice the works of her students. She was only looking for her passion because of course she will just only focus on her job without knowing that her students is like um feel sad about what the teacher felt about the um, feedback of the message that she read, and she didn't even notice the meaning of the grammar that the students give to her.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Do you have some ideas on why Tan Gyut Sang was sad about his family? Do you have some ideas?
Tangyuksang was sad. It's because his father was very abusive and didn't support his education. That's all.
Okay, so you have said that the teacher ignored the message of the letter that Tan Gyut Sang made because the teacher focuses on the structure, the grammar, and the proper punctuation marks. So, what is the ending of the story? What did Tan Gyut Sang did?
So, do you have any idea, Miss?
Tangyuksang committed suicide because he felt that no one wants to have him around Then he feel empty inside because he don't he
Nobody was
yeah.
listening her his problems.
Okay, so do you have some advices to the our educators that will that is watching our podcast? Do you have some advices that you can give?
So the best advice for these guys is, of course, educators. We must listen to our students. Even though the grammar is grammatically wrong, but we must know the message carefully, and we must think that, however, the students might give an effort for this their message. We must aware, of course, the side of the students, what might happen, and or that might be bad or good for the results. So furthermore, all of this is we need to take care and of course listen to our students carefully. We just not focus on our job as a teacher.
So since it is dynamic educators, so as future educators, can what advice or what will you do as a future educator to cater this problems or issues to your students, future students?
Okay, so um, as a dynamic educators, so we must be flexible. So we must think our students if they share their problems, so we must be flexible enough to understand their sides. It is because they have a different behavior. Some of them might commit suicide, and you must before that incident might happen, so you will um, give him an advice, or um, that's all.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So the teacher by Catherine Lim gives a lot of lessons that we can apply in our future, especially we are future educators. And now let us proceed to the other story of Catherine Lim, which is the Taximan story. So do you have any ideas about this story?
Okay, so the Taximan story talks about the taxi driver and the taxi driver having a conversation to his passenger. And also the taxi driver describes how youth um, move there in Singapore.
So the youth for now, their generation is um, they're asked permission to go to their parents to go to school, but their parents didn't know that they don't go to school. They go to the bar, drink alcohol, go to party and clubbing.
So the taxi driver reminisced how how we used back then and the development of the city behind the wheel. So also he also remembered the good old days, the quiet, the less crowd, and also the fewer cars on the road. So the taxi driver might be the reminiscing the bittersweet past, but also he appreciated what's the growth and development of the society. But also he think that the growth also and the development can be harmful to the society.
And the story of the Singaporean literature about this story Taximan by Catherine Lim. Before, they will allow to have children, of course, not like now. They will only need to have only 1 or 2 days with a limitation, not like before, because that will
Okay, so
that lang to.
so do you think they have a birth control?
Oh yes, of course they have. Actually, that's why they have limitation now, not like before the Singaporean literature, the Taxi.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I think in the story there is part that the taximan driver always complaining about the youths, but did he take advantage of that or not?
Yes, actually, he did um, uh, took advantage. It's because the youths there have a foreigner boyfriend, and most of them go to the hotel. So the taxi driver take them to the hotel, and the youths there give an extra tip to the taxi driver. So the taxi driver take an advantage to them.
Okay, thank you so much for that. As far as I remember in this story, that the taxi man driver is always complaining about the youth. But what is the twist of the story? Do you have any ideas the twist of the story?
Do you have any idea?
What about her daughter?
Okay, yes, there is a twist of the story. It is because the taxi driver always complaining about the youths that they go to the party, they drink alcohol, use drugs, but he doesn't know that his daughter also do the same thing. Uh, yeah, the younger generations did. Um, his daughter go to the also club which he got on, and
The taxi man driver disciplined his daughter after he saw that her daughter is also like the young teenagers.
yes, of course. The taxi driver did discipline his daughter. When the time she saw her in the club, he immediately go outside of his taxi and grab her daughter to her hair by her hair. So
Okay.
he grabbed her and he immediately took her to his home and beat the shit out of her.
Okay, so as the taxi driver was driving on the taxi, um, he was only telling the story about his passenger, right?
Yes.
Okay, so do you can you share some ideas about this quote that the taxi driver loves what he hates, or the thing that he hates he love it? Why? Why did he loves what he hates?
Do you have any?
Um, in my own perspective, why did the taxi driver loves his job? Because as a taxi driver, we must earn money for our family, especially we have um, children to provide, and but without notice that with this generation, my I his daughter was also a part of the generation was already passive right now by the like going to the club, and that's the reason why he still needs to go his job as a taxi man to provide everything. But suddenly he noticed that there is one of the product of a party girl in the club. The reason why he caught and he bring her daughter, and that's all.
Okay, thank you. So the taxi man driver loves what he hates. Why? Because the taxi man driver loves what he hates because even though he hates those young teenagers who go to clubs, who say to their parents that they have some meetings, some projects to do, but then they go to clubs. He loves his job because he earns a lot of money for his living. He take advantage of that one. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So before we will end this, can you give some advices to the younger generations for the 21st century generations about this story, the Taximan story?
Okay, so my advice that I will give to the younger generation is go to school and don't be tempted doing bad things like doing alcohol, drugs, because it's not good for your health, and you must go to school so that you will have a good future.
So my best advice for this also is, of course, temptation is always right there. Curiosity is always right there within our hands. So it is with us whether we like it or not, we must choose what's the right for us and what's the best for us. Of course, we are still students, and for those students who are still um, pursuing pursuing their dreams in life they want to become. So all I need to say is that focus on what your dreams are and just aim high and be not tempted on the society what are the society standards right now, guys.
Okay. So, for you, if you will be in the position of the the taxi driver, would you do what he do, or will you stop or give advices to those teenagers who go to bars and have some sugar daddy like that?
So, uh, for me, I guess I will still do what he do, but I will give an advice to the younger generation. It is because in the world right now we need to be practical. So I need to do these techniques to still get the youths um, uh, deliver them to the hotel because the tips are big. I have a so that I can have a big not big money but at least I can provide the essentials for my family. But also I will give an advice to the youths so that uh, they will
Yes, I will still do because right now we will need really, of course, money because this generation, I don't think so that we can buy like cheaper than the prices that we eat. But for that job I have and for that job that I can provide the needs of my family and also my children's, um, yes, I will still do that kind of job. But in order for me to become wise, and for those young students um, who become in my passenger, who ride in my no, no, no. Yes, for those passengers that I have taken to the club and to the bar, I will give an advice that for them, I know they are not a kid anymore, but they have also a kind of mindset that what's the best for them. And as a taxi driver, I know that they are not my children, that I am not their father, but as an older than them, I need to, of course, give my personal advice for what's the best for them to be better.
Okay, so there are some differences and similarities of the Singapore and Philippines because here in Philippines we also have some youths that go to the bars and have some sugar daddy. So I think that's all for today. Dynamic Educators, thank you for watching. Again, I am Hannah Krista Vicapras, your host for today. Dr. Joel, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.